Namaskar and a very good morning to all the viewers on this very important day as the nation celebrates the Technology Day today. My warm greetings to each one of you and my special word of thanks to Vigyan Bharati of Madhya Pradesh for giving me this great opportunity to be with you on a day so important. It was on this day, 11th of May 1998, that the Buddha smiled and our great nation joined the elite nations of the world in the nuclear club. India and India's scientific and technology community received great recognition for their innovative and creative genius that made Mother India proud, our nation strategic defense strong, and each one of us felt undoubtedly indebted to the science and technology prowess of our country. On this momentous occasion, as we celebrate the Technology Day today, we greet the entire science and technology fraternity of our great nation who are working relentlessly to contribute their very best to create the India of our dream. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a great responsibility on our shoulders, and as a former Vice Chancellor of Technological University, Rajiv Gandhi Pradhyogik Vishwavidyalaya, as well as the founder Vice Chancellor of Delhi Technological University, and now as the Vice Chancellor of Amity University, Gurugram, I fully understand and acknowledge that the responsibility which we all have on our shoulders is to create a better tomorrow on the strength of um, on the strength of science and technology acumen which be in our country and our younger generation possesses in plenty to create a world in which science and technology shall create the brightest future for the mankind. We are, in fact, at a very critical juncture in the history of our nation, or for that region, the history of the world, when on one hand we are passing through a great crisis today, when we all are locked down under the threat of coronavirus pandemic and trying to resolve this great crisis which has been created, we are trying to understand today, and perhaps with conviction, that the power of guns and power of missiles has suddenly become no match to the power of microbes and microbial kingdom that has given us a reason to pause, ponder, and think about the way we trade and transact our science and technology in future. And therefore, on this very important day, when we look at technology scenario post-COVID lockdown, we need to be very carefully reviewing how we have pursued science and technology so far and how we would like to create the great technology and science strength for our great nation in the years to come. Undoubtedly, we have made tremendous amount of advancement on the strength of cultivation of science and technology for our great nation. We achieved self-reliance in defense sector. We achieved food security for our billions of people. We became highly secured on the energy front, and we became the front runner in areas of space science and technology, nuclear science and technology, and undoubtedly in the science and technology that matters today, namely the information and communication technologies, where India commands and Indians command a great respect throughout the world. This has undoubtedly made Mother India proud. But we also know that we have also created tremendous amount of pressure on the environment and created highly polluted air and water environment around our country. The rivers of nectar are asking us who will once again transform them to be the rivers of nectar, which have almost turned rivers of poison before the COVID lockdown. During the lockdown, we have realized that the entire environment has been cleaned. And today we are breathing the cleanest air possible in our campuses, in our cities, throughout the country. And so I am told that the clean water flowing through Ganges and Yamuna River and the rivers of India is also reminding that great amount of cleaning has taken place during this time. It is partly because our industrial activity is at standstill, and much of the human activity and mobility is also more or less at a standstill. Nature has cleaned itself during this time and provided us the purest of the air and purest of water, the two great medicines of the soul which God Almighty created in plenty in our country. And therefore, we have a reason to ask ourselves what kind of science and technology we wish to now utilize to revamp the economic layers of our country and at the same time ensure that the health of the environment is at its best so that we could live and cherish the Vedic proclamation of Jiveshu Sharda Shatam. That means I, you, and everybody in this country and around the world lives for a good 100 years or more with a happy and healthy life. It's also important for us how do we go about now looking at the technologies of tomorrow that will not only ensure that India marches head and shoulder with the advanced nations of the world, but ensures that the interest of man and interest of Mother Nature is served together with the might of technology and the power of science of the kind which we wish to create tomorrow. We have to therefore look at the technological scenario from the point of view of two critical pathways. One of them could be business as usual, so that we return back to what we were doing earlier. And we shall pay a very heavy price if we go back to the business as usual kind of scenario, whereby there would be development undoubtedly, but it will be with tears and not with cheers and happiness of the kind which we need to create for ourselves. On the other hand, if we go to the other trajectory of developmental strategies for technology scenarios, alternative, and look at what can technology and science do now to create India of our dream, where the economy of the nation rises from its current level to $5 trillion economy, as our honorable Prime Minister has given us an agenda to be achieved by 2024 and $10 trillion economy by 2030, then we have to very carefully chart out the course of future development of science and technology in India. We need to pay greatest attention to the utilization of the most modern and most advanced technologies with which we are already so much accustomed to. The power of information technology, the power of connectivity, the power of artificial intelligence and machine learning undoubtedly would come to a great extent to our help and rescue. But at the same time, we need to understand that this is a country of 1.33 billion people, and therefore the creation of jobs, and that too in millions and millions, would be absolutely essential. And it would also be essential to unlock the tremendous amount of potential of creativity and innovation which our younger generation has. We have somehow rather taken a deep commitment towards Industry 4.0, which I also want to support. But at the same time, I want to remind my policymakers and planners of this great nation that a nation like ours requires mass entrepreneurship, whereby the enterprising and inspiring minds of Indians both in the rural as well as in the urban areas, are able to utilize the benefit of science and technology and create tremendous amount of bliss at the place where the workforce resides. And therefore, alongside with Industry 4.0 and the most modern technologies, we will have to revamp now the very concept of third industrial revolution, which is powered by the power and genius of man, powered by the power of connectivity and network, also powered by the tremendous advantage which we shall have on the renewable energy front and create mass entrepreneurship in plenty in our rural areas so that our billions of people who reside in Bharat, that is the real India, are in a position to engage themselves in productive activities wherever they are. Currently, by design or default, we have created systems of development around urbanization of our country. And this way, we were pulling great amount of workforce from our rural areas to the centers of urbanization and turning these urban areas into mega slums, a strategy that has certainly not done good for our nation. And therefore, it would be important for us to reinvent and reboot the new science and technology scenarios, whereby we understand the layers of employment and productive engagement created in both the rural and urban areas on the strength of the creative genius of our people. When I grew up as a child, I remember at that time there was no one unemployed in my village. The village was self sufficient in those days, and almost everything which we required in the village was cultivated and created then and there. The local industries in the village were able to support the needs of the village as well as the surrounding areas. We can think about seriously of that time and embed the advancement of science and technology and revive the concept of smart villages alongside with smart cities for which the government has already taken a deep commitment. Smart villages and a cluster of villages creating, in fact, the kind of environment where that's 80% population of our country which lives in rural areas would be able to enjoy the benefit of development at the place where they live. This will also help us to boost our economic strength, and maybe if we take the call of third industrial revolution alongside with fourth industrial revolution, industry 4.0, and put them together in a highly balanced manner as a developmental strategy for our great nation, India would be able to surpass the dreams of the Honorable Prime Minister to make our nation not just $5 trillion economy in 2024, but even more. And this is something this which is called for because we are at a critical juncture where we have understood that while career is important, while GDP is important, while layers of economy are important, most important is our own life, our own safety and our security. We have also understood the value and worth of environmental health and what it can do to us. We are all aware that there has been a serious reduction in the number of heart attacks cases going to the hospital. Recently, I visited one of the best hospital in Gurgaon recently for some purpose, and I was surprised that the wards are empty. Not many patients are there. Not that people are scared to go to the hospital, but because of clean air and the beautiful health of the environment which they have around in their lockdown, people are not falling sick as much as they would under the pressure of polluted air and polluted environment that was there before the lockdown began. And therefore, it's very important for us to now recognize that the alongside with the development and growth of economy, it is the health and well-being of the people which is very, very important. And therefore, the wellness, the technology that create happiness, technology that create wellness, technologies by which both economic prosperity and happiness is created together in plenty is something that is the agenda. In fact, for the planners of our country and our science and technology community in this nation, and I'm pretty sure is aware of the responsibilities which they have on their shoulders to propel our nation to the pathways of progress and prosperity unabated, but without the penalties of the kind that we have avoided to ourselves and to Mother Nature by unabated exploitation of natural resources. We have to use our imaginative and intuitive faculty and to ask ourselves how do I solve these problems, the mega challenges which are before us on our doorstep by our genius of science and technology innovativeness. This can be done. And I remember during my days at Rajiv Gandhi Pradyogiki Vishwavidyalaya, I gave a dream that capture carbon dioxide and convert it into hydrogen. And my scientists there were asking me how can hydrogen be created by capturing carbon dioxide. Initially, it was thought to be a wishful thinking, but then look at it. When we worked all together, our scientists at RGPV designed and developed and commissioned a pilot plant where you not only capture carbon dioxide from the chimney of the boiler, but also able to convert it into hydrogen, into methanol, into biodiesel, the three vital fuel for future. And it is this kind of challenge which the scientist, in my opinion, must address to in the years to come. Our nation had done undoubtedly very well in terms of utilizing solar energy and solving the problem of energy security to a great extent. Madhya Pradesh and most part of the country today is in fact energy self-sufficient, and we can create an energy surplus country for India, and that can be possible by exploitation of enormous potential of solar energy which we have in our country. Currently, we are utilizing solar cells based on silica, and these silicon solar cells are giving us an efficiency of the order of 12 to 14%, and at the best 18%. Why don't we get solar cell of 98%? We must ask ourselves. Our scientists must ask such tough questions to themselves, and our technologists must deliver the solution together with the scientist. We require a seamless connect between science and technology. Ask ourselves tough question how the efficiency of solar cell can be taken straight away from 18% to 98%. Then the answer will come from your within, that solar energy comprises of both light as well as heat. And therefore, we need to design and develop new solar cells whereby the entire spectrum of life can be captured and converted into electricity, and the enormous amount of heat, which is almost 50% of the total energy, can also be directly converted into electricity. If we design a solar cell where direct conversion of light as well as heat is possible, then you may be able to achieve 98% efficiency for solar cell. And just imagine what would be the energy scenario in India. You would require no coal, you would not require any oil, and you would have plenty of energy to power all your industries as well as all the human activity, including your cars on road would be running on electricity, and your trains already running on electricity, and you would have solved the problem of carbon dioxide that is creating climate change kind of pressure for around the world. You have to ask such tough questions and deliver the promise to the motherland by engaging yourself seriously in pursuit of science and for development of technology in a seamless environment of science and technology working together. Our success in ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, our success in DRDO, our success in Bhabha Atomic Research Center, and our success in BHEL, HAL, and a whole lot of other great industries which we have in our country is primarily because we have allowed scientists and technologists to work together on a common table and deliver the solutions of the kind that are required. It is this seamless integration of science and technology, in my opinion, that holds the key for developing science and technology for tomorrow. And it is this environment I need to create not only in research and development organizations, but in every single college and university, even at the school level. So that right from the school level to the university level, the fertile, innovative, and inspired minds of my people in great number engage themselves in pursuit of science and technology that creates the solutions for the mega challenges which we have on our doorstep. This way, we would be able to take a lead and provide the leadership in science and technology for rest of the world. And India would emerge, in fact, in my opinion, as the leader of the world community in areas of science and technology that create development with cheers rather than development with tiers of the kind which we have been creating in the past. We have also to look at the needs for our own nation in, in important sectors which are very important, and we need to now onward work with conscious mind to deliver the solution to plug in enormous amount of waste that is taking place in the rural area as well as in urban areas. We have to design and devise effective technologies for solid waste management, and also to ensure that the kind of harm that is done to environment from the effluent coming out of the industries and also from the mobility is cut down to zero. People like me are the advocates of the of the great radical change that should come in tomorrow when we unlock down the lockdown of COVID-19. And when we go on roads, I want to see lesser number of vehicles, people's mindset change, everybody becoming conscious of assuring that the pollution level of one's own vehicle is not only under control but effectively improved by our driving skills. And I want to see no accidents on the roads. And I want to see India where people are safe as well as happy. And all this requires tremendous amount of change mindset of the people around the world. We need to mount massive public campaign on television so that people of our great nation join together as they have joined during this lockdown time, that whole of India is one and responding effectively to the challenge of coronavirus. Like this, we need to coming together to respond to the challenge of creating a bright future for each one of us so that Mother India could bless us for the work we are delivering in service of man and Mother Nature. Let me also say that technologists of our country, and for that reason, science and technology community of the whole world, must also engage seriously in making impossible possible. When I grew up as a child, even telephony was, in fact, a luxury. At that time, the hanging wires of telephone were giving us a change, and connectivity was really a great issue. We have seen hanging wires of electricity also. And we have developed great technologies by which now wireless telephony, wireless connect and internet, wireless, everything has become so easily available. Question is, can you tomorrow create systems and technologies by which you can go wireless for transmission of electricity? And if you can do that, once you have developed science and technology capabilities making this impossible possible, where transmission of electricity, even of the high tension electricity, becomes wireless, you would have solved enormous amount of problem that is created today in the energy sector for transmission and distribution of electricity. You would have then created a bliss of heaven on earth. Your cars would be moving on road without the batteries even which you require today for your electric vehicles in great numbers. You would be moving in a car which will have no electricity, and yet your motors of the car will be powered by wireless connect to the electricity, and you will be paying from the meter which you have installed in your own household for the bills based on the number of kilometers you run and the electricity you consume. And it is possible today by the integration of advancement of electronics and communication and wireless technology, and you would be able to really create the kind of bliss which we all require. There would be no carbon dioxide coming from our vehicles, no carbon monoxide either, no sulfur dioxide, and you will have no problem of nitric oxide which you have today. And in fact, your road will be running with cleanest of the clean vehicles. But then it requires the genius of science and technology to engage seriously into developing these kind of technologies. We have made great advancement in the area of information technology, and now we are making great advancement in the area of nanoscience and technology. Nanoscience and technology, information technology, and biological science and technology, three together, in my opinion, will deliver the promise of new technology that will make all of us feel tremendous amount of bliss and happiness during our own lifetime. And I want to see the science and technology community in India engaging highly seriously into the areas of new science and technology, which are powered by the strength of nanoscience and technology, information technology, and biotechnology together. And it is this synergy of info, nano, and biotechnology that holds a great promise, in fact, for us to solve some of the pressing problems which we have on our doorstep. Think of water problem which we have. Think of the polluted water which we are discharging into our rivers, coming from the industrial effluent as well as from the municipal waste. And if you are able to utilize your nanoscience and technology and advancement of biotechnology together to solve this problem, you will be able to transform all the dirty drains and nalas into the streams of fresh water. It's possible. And the nanoparticles and the nanoparticle based systems for water treatment of wastewater would in fact do this job for us. And we have to engage seriously to design and develop technologies by which these miracles can be made possible. I am I have every hope and reason to believe that the science and technology community of my great nation and millions of young minds who are currently studying science and technology from school to college and to university levels at various levels, including the doctoral research and postdoctoral research, would engage seriously to make Mother India smile on a day which we are celebrating as the Technology Day, on which Buddha smiled to make Mother India proud of our entry into the nuclear club of the world. And it is this charter I must really present before you. Let me also spend a couple of minutes to remind you that our forefathers have taken science and technology very seriously. Recently, I was watching this Ramayana serial almost every evening along with my wife, and I was so happy to see when Sita ji and Lord Rama they went to Chitrakoot in Madhya Pradesh. They Sita ji met Sati Ansuya in the Ansuya ashram. Ansuyaji was worried how such a princely lady going to the jungle along with Lord Rama would survive for 14 years, where you have insects and microbes of the highest order. How would she? What dress she should have to protect herself? Who will do dry cleaning for her? Who will really provide the necessary clothing and textile support for Sita ji? And suddenly Ansuya ji realized that she had a pair of dress with her, which was presented by a great scientist Rishi, which is antimicrobial, antifungal, and has self-cleaning property, would not require any dry cleaning for 14 years, would repel all the insects and poisonous creatures in the jungle, and will give the fragrance of sandal for 14 years. Such a dress was presented to Sita ji by Sati Ansuya ji, the great sage of her time. Can't be designed and developed today. Antimicrobial textiles, which will protect us from coronavirus as well as give a hope for a better future tomorrow. We shall require such like of clothing so that the mosquitoes don't come near us, so that viruses don't touch us, so that they are repelled, and so that we can survive for 100 years without any threat coming from the microbes and microbial kingdom. It is possible. And when I gave this dream to my scientist here in Amity University, Gurugram, I was very happy that within no time they came back and we filed a patent on antimicrobial, antifungal, anti-dust textile with self-cleaning property that which they have made, and they made a prototype of it. And this is something we can do. We can look at the same way the miracles of the kind which are described in the Ramayana and in Mahabharata, and really turn our attention to doing a great service to our ancient science and technology, which in my opinion was far more developed than it is today. And therefore, the Charter for Science and Technology Professionals in this country, in my opinion, is much bigger than the Charter of Science and Technology abroad. We belong to a great civilization which has laid a great emphasis on cultivation of jnana, vijnana, as well as pragyana. In Tetri Upanishad, it is said, Vijnanam Deva Sarve, Vijnanam Deva Sarve, Brahma Jeshtu Pashate. Vijnanam Deva Sarve Brahma Jeshtu Pashate Vijnanam Brahm. That is the command of the Tetri Upanishad. And therefore, the kind of respect and recognition that is given to science here in India during the Vedic time is unparalleled in anywhere in the world. And therefore, we have every reason to submit to the cause of science and technology and ensure that science and technology utilized for a good cause for creating development and prosperity with cheers, with happiness on our faces, and not with tears of the kind which we have created in the past by exploitation of Mother Nature and its natural resources, and avoided heavy penalties of mass destruction for us as well as for people around the world. So it is this consciousness with which, in my opinion, we need to look at tomorrow's water technology, tomorrow's solar energy technology, tomorrow's food technology, tomorrow's agriculture technology, tomorrow's development of artificial intelligence and data analytics to create new ways of understanding, of boosting our capabilities in the rural as well as the urban areas. I was speaking this morning to Mr. Swaraj Puri, and he was reminding me of the Holocaust that has occurred in Bhopal way back in December 1984. As the luck will have it, I was in England at that time, and as I switched on my television late at night, I found the great tragedy has already struck in Bhopal, and thousands of people lost their life, and many millions were wounded, and that suffering is still felt. Just imagine at that time if we had the power of technology and social media of the kind which we have today, and if we would have understood the importance of artificial intelligence and algorithms of the kind to alert our own industry people as well as people at large in the society, we could have saved many lives at that time. Science and technology is a great savior, though it creates problems if we do not use it properly. But if science and technology pursued with caring concern for man and Mother Nature, it is a great solace, my friends. And that is why I think now onward, the greatest attention has to be paid by each one of us, not only the scientists and technologists who are working in this domain, but also to people at large. And we have to create that vital scientific temper in the minds of every single citizen of this great nation so that we all pursue our lifestyle in a manner to create the least possible harm to the environment and to the society at large. And it is this agenda that requires submitting ourselves to the new world order in which we all shall work together with a caring concern for each other and will ensure that the health of the environment and health of people is assured together. And it is in this respect we will take recourse to a lot of development which our forefathers have made. Our spices, which we consume every day in our food, are an assurance for immunity of our people. Our forefathers, of course, negated killing of animals for food, and we are unfortunately today a country exporting a lot of meat to advanced nations of the world. We have to now ask ourselves very seriously, can't we feed our 1.33 billion people with the capabilities of agriculture which we have today, and with the support of advancement of science and technology we can create a happy and healthy life for our people with highest levels of immunity of the kind that is required to remain cheerful tomorrow. I leave you with this thought, and also with the idea that tomorrow's development would require a tremendous amount of focus on green engineering, on green science, on green technologies, so that we are able to assure a bright future for ourselves and for the coming generations. I call upon each one of you, not only the viewers who are directly connected to Bigyan Bharti uh, YouTube channel live today, but also to every single citizen of this great nation and people of the world to now pause, ponder, and rethink about the way we want to pursue the course of science and technology for development of a happy and healthy habitat on planet Mother Earth. Let us use science and technology to create billions of smiles on the faces of people, and let us use science and technology in a very careful and planned manner to create avenues for engagement and work activity for billions of our people here and around the world. I want to pursue the course of mass entrepreneurship, where the enterprising and inspiring minds of Indians pursue entrepreneurship in plenty and create tremendous amount of wealth for them and happiness for the community at large. Our forefathers were highly enterprising, and so should we be. Why should we run short in returning back to our roots and create India of enterprising and inspired mind who will not only serve the interest of their billions people here, but also the serve of the interest of the entire humanity and show new pathways of progress and prosperity for the people of the world. After all, we are the people who pray every morning as we get up and chant that Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Shantu Niramaya. We never say that only Indians should be happy and without disease and they should be prosperous. We say that the whole humanity should be Sukhi and they should be without disease. And it is this kind of prayer with which we are groomed right from our childhood up to the last breath of our life. And therefore, it is all the more reason for India to take a leadership role now that we have understood the value and worth of life and livelihood better than ever before. At this critical juncture, when we celebrate the Technology Day and recall the advent of Buddha Ismail and entry of Mother India into the elite nuclear club of the world, I am leaving you with the thought that the spiritual power of science and technology is something which we need to now on cultivate in plenty. Spiritual power of science is an assurance for eradication of poverty, hunger, disease, and also to make this whole world peaceful and war free. And it is this spiritual strength of science that requires integration of spiritual strength of science and technology to create the new waves of technology scenario. Now that we have understood the value and worth of what can be done to protect the interest of man and interest of nature together. No one less than the great scientist of the world, Madame Curie, when she responded to her reception 25 years after the discovery of radium, said that each age has a dream, and so should you have a dream, and take the torchlight of knowledge and build the palace of future. And she also said that I am among those who believe that science has great beauty. But in the years to come, its spiritual strength shall clean this world from poverty, from misery, from ignorance, from disease, and from war and heartache. These golden words of Madame Curie, who discovered radium, followed by later on by other scientists of thorium, plutonium, uranium, etc., reminds us of the spiritual power of science which we need to now rediscover and integrate into our development of science and technology so that science and technology become a great friend of man and mother nature and create that vital divine bliss on planet mother earth. On this very important day, let me thank once again the Bigyan Bharati of Madhya Pradesh for giving me this opportunity to be with you on this momentous occasion. People like you who are engaged in selfless service to science to the community through Bigyan Bharati, in my opinion, would do a great service to our people and people around the world by reawakening and rekindling the hope for a bright future built on the spiritual strength of science and its effective integration with the human face of technology. I have also been given this opportunity to announce the of the awards of the competition which has been conducted by Bigyan Bharati prior to this event, and I had been given the privilege to announce the winners at this time. Let me take immense pride in announcing these awards of the Bigyan Bharati of Madhya Pradesh for those who have participated into the competition that has been conducted. Let me announce the third prize at the school level goes to Priyansi Parihar of SP Jain Gurukul High School, Khurei. Third prize goes to Priyansi Parihar of SP Jain Gurukul of Khurei. The second prize goes to Ananya Gupta of Delhi Public School, Bhopal. She is from class 7th. And the first prize at the school level goes for Anishka Mohanty of Delhi Public School, Vidyanagar. She is from class 9th. My heartiest congratulations to the winners of the school prizes to Anishka Mohanty, Ananya Gupta, and Priyansi Parihar. Let you all clap and appreciate the winners. Let me also announce the college level winners of the Bigyan Bharati Madhya Pradesh competition, essay competition. At the college level, the third prize goes to Mahendra Prasad of IGNU, Shakti Nagar, Bhopal. The second prize goes to Brijesh Kumar Patel Government Holkar Science College, Indore, the prestigious college, and the first prize at college level goes to Lalit Srivastava of Institute of Excellence in Higher Education at Bhopal. My heartiest congratulations to all the winners at the school and college level. Let you all engage in the pursuit of science from school to colleges and university levels, and those working on the shop floors and in the research and development organization and chains of research laboratories of CSIR, DRDO, ISRO, and Baba Atomic Research Center, and great many in the private sector as well, engage seriously to deliver the promise which we make to ourselves on this day to create a new world of bliss, of divine bliss, where the interest of man and interest of nature is protected by our pursuit of science and technology with clear cut understanding of integrating the spiritual strength of science and human face of technology for creating a blissful future for each one of us. Thank you so much, Vigyan Bharati of Madhya Pradesh, for giving me this great opportunity to be with you on this momentous occasion. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Jai Vigyan, Jai Pradhyogiki. Namaskar. खत्म करें बेटा, end कर